Hello and welcome to another episode of WVU Energy Express on West Virginia Public Broadcasting and YouTube. I'm your host, Zach Harrell. Today is an episode that I've certainly been looking forward to. Today we're going to talk about all things puppetry. Did you know that for 40 years, the WVU Puppet Mobile has been taking live puppet performances all over West Virginia? Pretty amazing, right? We're going to meet some of those puppets today and the amazing puppeteers who are behind the scenes controlling them. You guys remember our friend Kurt, the fuzzy nub? Well, Kurt and the rest of the nubs are going to show us where they live, work, and play. Let's check it out.
Oh, hi there.
Welcome to the puppet shop. Please, come on in. This is the puppet shop. This is where my brothers sleep and I also sleep. This is my bed. And this is our workspace. This is where we get all the stuff done. Okay. These are our touring shows. We got a marionette show, very popular. And the hand-in-mouth puppets, they're sleeping. They got the luxury eye masks. I'm real jealous. These are patterns for our bodies. And if you look over here, there's all the stuff to make the puppets.
So we have many types of styles here in the puppet shop. One of which is our hand and rod puppets right here, like this guy.
Another kind is object puppetry, where you take everyday objects and you make them come to life. And these are our reticulated foam puppets. And this is my cousin. He lost all his hair.
So these are the pictures of the puppets that are currently in production and they're being made. They all start out with these pretty designs right here. And then we create the structure and blow them up to size.
Well, those nubs are a lot of fun, aren't they? Next, we're going to see the people who are quite literally behind the fuzzy nubs. We even convinced a very special guest to interview them. Let's check that out.
I think I heard that you are a puppet major. What's that?
A puppet major?
Yeah.
Well, I go to this place called a university and they teach people degrees. So I gave money to this institution to learn everything about puppetry. Yep, making them, manipulating them, directing them, even writing the little shows.
Since you do all that, have you personally built a puppet?
I have, yeah, I built a couple of them.
What are they?
I've built a marionette, a hand and rod puppet, and a shadow puppet.
Cool.
Yeah, and some masks.
Ooh, you said something about directing shows too. What kind of shows?
Well, I'm currently working on a show with humans, not puppets. I'm directing that, but with class, we direct a lot of little skits. So those ones are fun and not as serious.
Yeah, I imagine. So this degree, this program, it sounds like there's a lot of both performance and technical. Is that right?
That is right. Yeah, it's one of the only majors here at WVU that deals with both manipulation, performance side, and also creating the puppets, which I think is really valuable because I built puppets before manipulating them, and through manipulating I see that I didn't really make that great of puppets.
Oh.
They could have been made better. Yeah.
What would you say a good to manipulate puppet is?
Well, they're all different. So with the marionette, I'd say I've learned through using other marionettes where like the strings are more comfortable, where I know to get the most movement out of it. And with like the hand and mouth puppet, like I have this huge mouth plate. And so after I built the whole thing, I realized that I could have so the puppet talks like this, not like this, talks like this. And so to have something holding your thumb to the bottom mouth plate is very beneficial to be able to move this with like minimal effort.
And you say that you got to build these. Was that a class or a project or?
Yeah, I built them in class. So we have the puppet building class, and then also through work study, I have helped build a lot of the marionettes I've painted all the faces on the little Goldilocks and Red Riding Hood show.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And is that special to this university that you are attending?
I think so. I've done no research into the other puppetry program that is in, Connecticut? Yeah. I know nothing about it, but I know that we haven't had marionettes here, and I think Mary said something like the last 50 years or so,
Wow.
I kind of doubt that the other one has anything with marionettes, so I think that's special.
So what would you recommend doing with all of this experience you've gotten?
Well, the great thing about learning so much is that I'm learning so many practical skills that are transferable to so many aspects of theater, like I said, directing and creating, and through the degree we have to take classes in lighting and stagecraft, costuming, so there's a lot of those aspects come into play with puppetry, and it's really valuable knowledge that I could take anywhere, and also teach too. That's another thing.
All right, what do you think you're going to do?
Whatever someone will pay me to do. So
I get it. And what kind of performances do you get to do?
I've been touring around doing some various performances. Some performances we do with marionette puppets, which are string puppets, and others we use hand and rod puppets, something you would see adjacent to Elmo and Sesame Street.
Well, how long have you been interested in this puppety stuff?
Ever since I was a kid, it was one of my many obsessions. I used to watch all the puppet shows you could imagine, like Sesame Street, Fraggle Rock, The Muppet Show, and when I was around 8, I learned that this was actually a career you could be a part of, so I figured, hey, why not make a living off of it? I've been at it for a while. I started doing actual manipulation work about a few weeks ago, like 2018, as such, and then it just started growing, and here I am.
So how did you choose the West Virginia University program specifically?
Well, I took a look at it, and I was very impressed with the stuff they had to show off of the program. I love to see the puppets that they showed and the videos they had, and they even had a video where Kevin Clash, one of the performers of Elmo from Sesame Street, he came to visit the school to discuss the program with the Elmo puppet with him. So I was very excited to see that. I was like, that's the place. That's the place I gotta go,
What would you have to say to others who are trying to get into puppetry? Like, resources?
Resources, well, when it comes to resources, you just gotta do your research. If you wanna make a puppet, it's very easy. You can even start off with a simple sock puppet and just practice your lip sync and your manipulation skills. That's a great way to start. Make some videos, have some fun with it. Do a lot of lip syncing. That's what I like to do. I put on music and lip sync a character to a song, and that's kind of how I practice and get into that puppetry vibe. That's what I recommend.
What is your puppetry vibe like?
Very fun, zany, creative. You definitely got to put a lot of creativity into it because it's a very creative art style. You really have to be able to bring the puppet to life in a way. So you got to use a lot of your imagination. So the brain plays a big part into that.
Okay, now, so what exactly interests you in the puppetry arts?
I think what really interested me in the puppetry arts is it's another aspect of theater. It's very important to theater. There's a lot of historical significance with it, the staging. And honestly, I love children's theater the most. So I think that's what really drew me to it.
Okay, and how exactly would you describe the art of puppetry?
I would say the art of puppetry is bringing life into things that you wouldn't expect. So quite literally embodying a character versus just playing it, where you really have to just put it all out there.
Okay, and what started you in the puppet arts?
So I'd definitely say a lot of Jim Henson's work, like, Muppets, Sesame Street, Emmett Otter, that kind of stuff. But what really got me here too is also my sister. She did like kind of what I do in the puppetry program now, and did a lot of the performance end of it. I think that's really what got me here.
Okay, and would you like to continue in the puppetry art?
Oh my gosh, yes, 100%. I love it. I love it.
So now tell me, what do you like the most about doing puppets?
I think figuring out the different ways to manipulate, different ways to really show emotion with them, because you can only have so much range depending on the type of puppetry you are using, especially like object puppetry. That one's kind of hard because sometimes you just have a pencil and you have to like make it into something and
Mm-hmm. So you mentioned different styles of puppetry. What is your favorite style?
I think my favorite is honestly, I have to say classic hand and rod puppets. They're my favorite.
Okay. So why exactly did you choose WVU for college?
I mainly came here because of my sister. But also, aside from that, like, it's a really good program with the theater and dance department, and especially the fact of how much, they meld puppetry into theater and all that kind of stuff. I love how multifaceted it is.
Oh, yes. What is your favorite part of the theater school?
I really love how a lot of the stuff is student-run. So we have like lab theater or advanced directing. Even Puppetpalooza is a lot of just students creating skits and directing.
Now, what are your plans for once you've graduated?
So I hope to be able to act and puppeteer in, all different kinds of things. I already do some amusement park work and mascot work. That's really fun. But like end goal is to open my own theater and to be able to like be equity or non-equity, but like paying people, but specifically for people with disabilities or that are on the autism spectrum.
Okay, so I hear you are a puppetry major, yes?
Mm-hmm.
So what exactly got you into doing puppetry?
Really, it all started when I was 3. By that point, I had already been introduced to Sesame Street, where I used to live. The thing is that I didn't start speaking until I was like 3.5 years old. And Sesame Street actually helped me learn how to speak, so I gotta give them props for that. Then something interesting happened. When I was either 4 or 5, I started doing impressions of characters that I've seen on TV. And for like a 5-year-old, I was doing a fantastic job.
Oh. So what made you want to pursue puppetry as a career opportunity?
Really, I wanted to hop on board Sesame Street ever since I first saw it.
And what intrigues you the most about the puppetry? What's your favorite thing to do with it?
One of my personal favorite things to do with puppetry is something that I actually taught myself when I was 7. Teaching myself how to lip sync. What I did was I saw footage from current Muppet captain of Sesame Street, Matt Vogel, and how he lip syncs and performs, and I like learned from him and his footage.
And what is something you think is very special about puppetry?
What I think is special about puppetry, especially in the case of the Muppets, is that it can open the gateway to do stuff that you can't really do with live action. You can immerse your audience into like all these different amazing worlds with puppetry. You could do that with like live actors, but there's a certain charm to puppetry that just can't be duplicated.
Well, now we've met some amazing puppets and the very talented people who bring them to life. The only thing left to do is to make some puppets of our own. We got one of our friends from Extension, who also happens to be an experienced puppeteer, to show us how to make our very own wooden spoon puppet. Let's go.
Hi, my name is Evy Wright, and I am the WVU Extension Volunteer Program Manager, and I'm also a professional puppeteer. You've met a lot of puppet friends this season, and today we are going to learn how to make wooden spoon puppets. The materials that you will need for this are a wooden spoon, some markers, scissors, fabric, maybe some yarn, or some trim, some bric-a-brac, things to decorate with. We are also going to need a paper plate or something round that we can trace, and some glue. You can use white glue, or you can use hot glue. But remember, if you are using hot glue, it is very important that you have a grown-up help you with the hot glue, because it really is hot and you don't want to burn yourself. All of the materials for this project can be found at the dollar store or at your local fabric store. Or you might even have some old shirts that you could use for fabric at home, or an old wooden spoon at home that you can use to make this puppet. Just remember to ask a grown-up before you use anything from your house that maybe they wanted to keep. I want to introduce you to my friend Sam, who is going to help us make some puppets today. Hi, Sam.
Hi.
So the first thing we're going to make today is wooden spoon puppets, and we need to decide how our puppet is going to look. Do we want it to be really sparkly? Do we want it to have really poofy hair? Maybe something different. What idea do you have?
Maybe we could make a pirate.
Okay, so we have some really fun things here, and I will let you pick which of these you would like to use for your pirate. First, let's choose what fabric your pirate is going to have. Which of these do you like?
I think we should use the red and blue one.
Okay, excellent choice. We are going to start by drawing a face on the pirate. Okay, so I'm going to have you do that.
Okay.
We have some markers here. So this puppet can be as simple or as complicated as you want it to be. You can draw a really simple face with markers. You can draw on hair, or you can add hair using yarn or something else. You can get really, really fancy and paint your wooden spoon and paint on your face. So Sam has drawn a face on our spoon. Want to hold it up so everyone can see what it looks like? Great. And now what we are going to do is add on some decoration. So which of these things do you think you want to use?
Maybe
We have yarn too.
maybe these pieces for the hair.
Okay.
So he has long hair. And we could use this for a bandana maybe on his head.
Oh, that sounds like a great idea. Should we start with the hair, you think, first, and then the bandana on top so it goes over the hair, or does the bandana go under the hair?
It usually goes over the hair.
Okay, so we will start. Can you put this hair on how you imagine it being?
Okay.
And we're going to use the hot glue gun for this because those beads are a little bit heavy.
Yeah. Probably I would say it would go on, and it would probably like wrap around here.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll put some glue on this.
Yeah.
And then we will carefully this on the head. How about you hold that? And I will be very careful not to burn myself. Right there?
Oh, good.
Okay, let's flip it over. And then you wanted to use this trim for our bandana. Okay. Take some scissors. And we'll do hot glue again. You can use white glue for any of this also. It just takes longer to dry. Now what we're going to do is make our pirate's costume. So you chose this blue fabric. On the back of the fabric, I found this mouse pad that was just the right size for this fabric because my paper plate was a little too big for this fabric. And remember, when you're tracing something round, start at the edge of your fabric and not right in the middle of your fabric, and that way you won't waste fabric. So I am going to trace around this, hold our circle down. I'm using a Sharpie now because I'm drawing on the back of the fabric and that Sharpie will be hidden. So I don't need to worry that you'll see it when we're done. And now I'm going to take my fabric scissors and cut out this circle. So the first thing I'm going to do is just make my fabric a little smaller. There. This doesn't need to be exact. It doesn't need to be perfect. The great thing about making puppets is it's hard to go wrong. They're always going to look great when you're done. Now what we need to do is cut a hole right in the middle of our fabric because the fabric is going to go around our spoon. So to find the middle, all I have to do is take my circle, I fold it in half, I fold it in half again, and that's the middle. This is a pretty wide spoon, so I want to make sure I cut this hole big enough to go around it. Let's see how I do. Yeah, I think that'll work. Okay, so if you can just push that through. And now we attach this, and your pirate has a shirt. We're also going to use hot glue on this. But again, you can use white glue, you could even use a rubber band or tape. And a little hot glue here. There. Thank you for holding that up. It makes it a lot easier when you have help. So our puppet is done. So here is Sam's pirate puppet. Okay, hold this puppet up, and what does the pirate puppet say?
Arr.
Arr!
If you like that, you're going to love this.
Hi, I'm Molly with West Virginia University Extension Family Nutrition Program, and today we're making a ham and veggie frittata. I've washed my hands and our cooking surface, so I'm ready to get started. For this recipe, we're going to clean out the freezer and use some chopped frozen broccoli, a half a cup of chopped frozen spinach, and a half a cup of a pepper and onion mix. We are going to take this to the microwave and microwave it at 50% power for 3 minutes. We've got our vegetables out of the microwave, so now we're going to add our ham and tomato. So I have a pound of diced lean ham, and then 1 medium tomato that I washed and diced. Mix that up. Set that aside, and now we're going to do the egg part to our frittata. We're going to add 6 eggs to a bowl or a glass measuring cup. To that, we're going to add a cup of our cheese, and this is shredded part skim mozzarella, but you could swap out and use any cheese that you have on hand. Hold back about 1/2 cup to put on top. And then a teaspoon of garlic powder, and we're just going to incorporate that. In our baking dish, spray with some cooking spray. Pour in our vegetable mixture. Spread that out nice and even. Add our egg and cheese mixture. I'm going to spread this around. Sprinkle with the remaining cheese. And then this is going to bake at 425 degrees for about 20 to 25 minutes. Our frittata has cooked about 20 to 25 minutes, so I'm ready to get it out of the oven. Cut a piece. And here's our ham and veggie frittata with all kinds of great vegetables and our lean ham. To check out the ingredients and directions for this recipe and a lot of others, head on over to our webpage or our YouTube channel. I hope to see you again real soon. Thanks for joining me.
It's been another fun day here on WVU Energy Express. I've really enjoyed learning all about puppets and the people who make them and control them. I hope you guys get a chance to make your own wooden spoon puppet. As for me, I have an overwhelming urge to watch some Sesame Street. Well, I'll see you guys right back here again next time. Until then, have a wonderful day.